Imagine you got a really nice house. Imagine you have an island. So I think there comes a time in one's life when you're probably looking for options. You're probably got everything you might want or need in life, and you're potentially looking to refine your lifestyle to the perfect way it can be. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but imagine you got a really nice house. Imagine you have an island, or you have access to a beach club, and you're trying to design an experience which is possibly the best experience you and your mates could imagine. And that's going from your house to your island. And you're all about designing things in the best way possible. Well, that's where I think this can help. My name's Dan Jones. Welcome to Dan's Boat Life, and today I'm on the Iguana Commuter. This boat is from Normandy in France. These guys started production in 2008. They are building carbon fibre amphibious landing boats. This thing is cool. There is a lot to talk about, and as you may or may not be able to see, we've got a lot of rain coming through today, so I'm going to try and do my best to explain this in the most efficient way possible, because we're probably going to get caught in another rain shower sooner or later. But to give you some background on these guys, the brief started before 2008 with an owner in Normandy where you have huge tides, so that long mud flats to get out to the sea at certain times. And also not wanting to clutter up the foreshore with big, ugly marina setups, but also conscious of the environmental impact that those marinas can have, and trying to find a solution that can do that for you, which isn't just a modified commercial boat, something that's beautiful, like really gorgeous. So carbon fibre was the solution for them, creating something strong, creating something light, and designing a hull which is going to slip through the water and keep you and your guests really comfortable. So this is what they came up with. It's a cutting bow, quite a deep V hull, super strong and quite good looking. And then they combined it with these tank track technology. Low center of gravity, very, very well balanced. And these tank tracks enable you to, honestly, land the boat on any surface. Like, I've tried it a few times now. You can come up on quite aggressive angles, and so you can do like what we have here, retain the environment in its natural state, or close to. Obviously there's some landscaping going on right here, and if you want to enjoy your beach, you can. There's no need to apply for a marina permit, I should say, and all the drama which goes along with that. And it's kind of getting back to nature, perhaps in the way we should have done so in the first place. So yeah, that's cool. Anyway, we've got the deep V cutting bow. It rides beautifully. If you want to understand how it rides, we've already filmed a test drive video. So subscribe, that'll probably come up in the screen at some point when I finish the edit. So go ahead and watch that if you wish. But this is the walkthrough. The boat itself, they've got a few different models. There is a rib version, the X100, and there is another version to this which is more of an open style. I do actually know that and have had some experience on that because I sold one on my brokerage, and I was blown away at the different feel this boat has on what is essentially the same hull. But let's come back here and have a bit of a look, and hopefully you can sort of get all this in shot. But what's going on here, you've got two options with these boats. You can have essentially a generator, which will run and give you power to the hydraulics, or you can do it with lithium. So this one's got the lithium, which, in a residential situation like this, you're probably going to be a little bit kinder to your neighbours, but whatever, you do you. The lithium on this boat provides you the power to really land the boat up on the shore or bring it into your custom dock like this. And that's essentially what these boats are designed for. It's designed for a safe landing on the beach. So what I mean by that is come up on the sand, turn around, deploy your auto ladder, and walk off onto the beach and have your picnic. This is not I don't imagine this is a boat that you go driving down the road on, something like that. That's a trailer boat. This is for safe landing on the beaches. I think that's really the focus you want to put on something like this. But anyway, I'm going on a little bit. So let's look at the design here. These tank tracks, just make sure, I don't want you to get too close. I want to make sure you guys can see all of this before I start walking back, because there's a little bit to talk about. This design here, obviously when the undercarriage is retracted in the up position, there's a big locking pin just here. So that's going to hold it in position when you're underway. But also when the boat is driving, these tank tracks are out of the water. So from a hydrodynamic point of view, it's quite an efficient hull. This is not providing any negative drag, so to speak. Your hydraulic arms here and here, this is a huge big steel construction to hold the drives or legs themselves. And then you have this steel, is it steel? What is it? Aluminium, beg your pardon. Okay, see, I get things wrong too, that's all right. You've got this fender set up here, which is part of the design, and now that's going to help you at the dock. And we have experienced this just pulling in for fuel. You're going to bump this into the dock first, and it's going to protect the tank tracks from getting in the way. So that's all part of the design, and it does look cool as well. So coming back to the transom, you have one of my favourite features, this electrically deployed 4-step boarding ladder. And this is what it's all about. It's a safe way to get on and off the boat, and it's the best way to go ashore. And I said this in the test drive video, this is a conversation starter. Just picture yourself pulling up to a beach bar or a cafe or whatever it may be in one of these, stepping off with your partner and having a cool day. Everybody's going to be looking, but they look in an appreciative manner. Like, I have experienced this. People look, they're interested, and they respect. They're like, wow, that is cool. And you're going to make friends. You literally will make friends with a boat like this because everybody's going to want to come and have a chat with you. But yeah, swim ladder, got a grab handle. Now, Steve, if you come around this way, maybe even why don't you jump up on the rocks there? I'll hold the camera, and then you get me in frame. And so you guys can appreciate all of this. So, can you guys see that? There's a track system in here which deploys the ladder down, and then when you press up on the control panel, it'll retract it. But getting on and off, you can't get better than this. Literally, it's just like walking up some stairs, and then you have that grab handle there. When you're on board, one of the first things that might go through your head is it going to be stable? Can I move my weight around the boat, and am I going to be safe? And the answer is absolutely. The center of gravity on this thing, it's so well positioned that as you move around the boat, you don't feel unsteady and you don't feel insecure. So that's just something worth noting, because when you do come up on the beach, you might be doing it on quite an angle. And when you do it for the first time, you're like, "Ooh, am I going to be safe?" But the answer is absolutely. Like, we did it, then we turned around, you're going sideways, you're on quite an angle, and the thing just does what you tell it to do. So it's cool. Outboard powered, you could kind of go with many options. So we've got a couple of 200 horsepower Mercuries on this one. I got it wrong in the test drive. I said 225. That's incorrect. It was 200s. Professionally mounted, and you can do whatever you do. So if you want Yamaha, if you want something else, I'm sure that's possible because they're pretty flexible, that sort of thing. So let's focus on the design and not the motors. This transom is gorgeous. What we have here is going to be some flexi teak. Let me just step back a little bit so you guys can appreciate this. 1, 2, 3 stairs. So this is a bit of a hangout zone, I reckon. You know, this is a commuter. Obviously, it's a boat to go places, arrive in style, get you to your destination. So that's its focus. But there will be those times where you want to just go and hang out somewhere, and it is absolutely capable of doing that. So making our way through, these are all just inspection ports, just for the motor fitting. I don't know what this is. Oh, is that's going to be for a ski pole? Ski pole? Yeah, so that's going to be the fitting when it's not in place, and then that'll just slot in when you're using it. Really high quality leather seats here. These ones look like they are fixed, and let's make our way inside. You've got, I'm not going to sit down because everything's wet today because, as I said, it's been pouring with rain. You've got this U-shaped seating area, but if I picture myself here, another person there, 4, 5 big blokes, 6 or 7 if there were some ladies involved, so totally doable and comfortable. And this is in your lunch social mode, and then if you're driving, you can actually, whoop, I'll do that more eloquently next time. Okay, you can actually, okay, there you go. They're on like little slides, and you just push it forward and back. So when you're in driving mode, you can all be facing this way and enjoying the ride. And when you're in social mode, push that back and face your friends. 1, 2, 3, 4 drink holders, 5, 6 just here. There is a fridge just here. And underneath here, we've got storage, more access to the bilge, shore power, breaker switches just in there. I'm not sure what's in the corner here, we'll find out. Okay, that looks like a little esky, little storage spot, so they're not wasting the space there. And let's have a look under this one. Okay, it looks like an access panel to something. We've got water in, a couple of rod holders, these beautiful flush cleats. So they're all the way around the boat. Now this mechanism here is to do with setting up the sunshade, and we'll have to cut to a shot of that because we have just demonstrated and tested that. What I like about this boat is the T-top. There's a lot to say about that. We'll get to that in a second. With that raised and the sunshade in position with a couple of carbon fibre poles, you know when, you know, obviously the sun's moving, and the sun starts to set or move throughout the day, and you start to get too hot in the corner seat. And so people want to move around, change position, or, you know, set up some extra shade. You don't need to do that on this boat. You literally just operate the tank tracks and move the table to face the shade. Like, that's all you have to do. I'm sorry, but is there a more luxurious way to enjoy your afternoon tea? That's cool. So, carry on. We've got a couple of speakers just here and here. I can see a cockpit drains, really, really high quality cockpit drains just there. Now, are you guys going to be able to see? Steve, do you reckon you want to come on board? Because there's a lot to see here. I do sort of picture this boat primarily as a couple's boat, because you've probably got other boats, you probably have a nice house, and you are the guy or girl with all the options in the world, and you are doing or creating those amazing experiences. And I think that's why people, you know, buy classic cars or cool cars. It's the feeling it gives them on a Saturday or a Sunday morning. And like, I love that. You go out and you have a blast around for a couple of hours. It gets your heart racing. You just have a wonderful experience. And I think that's what this boat is doing for you. It's going to your favourite cafe in the best way you possibly can to enjoy your favourite breakfast with your favourite person. And that's what Iguana are creating with this commuter. So you and your partner in these suspension seats, enjoying yourself out of the wind, protected from the sun, and that leads me to this T-top. You know, a lot of cabin boats, you have to sacrifice. So you might have a T-top, it's set up in such a way that you can't stand, or it's not perfect, or you might not be able to have much ventilation because it gets too hot. It's only open at the back, or they might have some hatches up the top for ventilation, but then that ruins the looks because it's really ugly. What I love about this boat is they're not trying to please everyone. They're doing a couple of jobs exceptionally well, and that's what I see here with this T-top. So this goes up and down. Let's just, rather than me talk on and on about it, check this out. So if you want to set up for lunch mode and you've got all your big tall mates hanging about, you can do this. So I'm 5'7". We'll just let that go all the way to the top. So you can pop this all the way up. I can only just touch the roof now. You can have the sunshade deployed, and this is epic lunch mode. So tall friends, no worries. Lunch mode, no worries. If you want to go fast and you perhaps don't need this much, or like on a day today, you know, it's been raining on and off. We wanted some air in from time to time, but we didn't need too much because the rain's just been non-stop. So you just lower it to something a little bit more sensible, get the ventilation if you need, and hey presto. So that's just so cool. It's a simple, beautiful, solid solution to a common problem. So I just think that's amazing. So we've got some downlights, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got a big rubber seal. So when this is in the down position, that mates up perfectly with this gorgeous windscreen, and you don't get any water through into the cabin. So that's pretty cool. The Helm itself, it's so simple. It's beautiful. Like, this is another thing about this brand. Like, it's doing a lot in a simple way. I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but what do we have here? We've got this beautifully designed dash, a place to rest your phone. You've got the control panel for the boat itself. I go into a bit of detail on this on the test drive, but essentially we can operate the tracks from here. We can turn the engines on and off from here. I can lock and unlock the door from here. Ladder, the T-top, my windscreen wipers, and even my custom leg rest for the or custom seat position, I should say, is operated from here. So it's just amazing. When I'm driving, I can see the gauges like that, and so it's got everything you need. When you're actually operating the drives themselves, this is how you drive. So you both forward, both back, one forward and one back, etc., just like tanks. This is your navigation, just here. Digital diagnostics, or digital throttles, I should say. Power is on-off from here, kind of like your battery switches, and then you just got your safety for your outboard VHF down there, all complemented with one of the most beautiful custom steering wheels I've seen in a while. I've got the Iguana logo in the middle there. That's all stainless steel, and that's wrapped. That looks like real leather with some contours to it, so it feels nice on your fingers. So yeah, they're not trying to do too much, but what they do really well, is what I see. Next thing, when you're in this seat, make sure you can get out of the rain there, Steve, if I know you're all right. Now, when you're in this seat, you feel beautifully protected, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I feel nice and cocooned in the seat. I've got the footrest just here, and I can send the seat forward electrically to reach that footrest. And when you're going through some waves, it's suspended, but it's not one of those squeaky suspension systems. So if you know, on some of the other boats you've seen me test, you can hear the suspension going up and down, and it makes a bit of a squeak because they're just using other systems. This is nowhere near that. This is like on a cloud. You're like just on this cushion of air. The seat's going up and down, but it's not interrupting what you're doing. So, 2 windscreen wipers, not one. Then we get to the passenger side. So Steve, if you come around this way, and let's just try and let everyone appreciate this. This is done, once again, simple and elegant. So this is a nice, sensible place to put your things. As you can see, I put my phone here, some charging, and you've even got a mirror for the girls. Like, how good's that? Because, let's face it, you are going to go out in your fancy linen shirt and the girls are going to be dressed up and you will be going to nice places on a boat like this and you need to arrive in style. So that's great. A couple more stereo speakers just there. And then we get down into the accommodation and it's, let's face it, I don't really think people are going to sleep in a boat like this. This is going to be a place that your guests put their bags. Yes, we have the option of a toilet, which is just here. We could sleep down. I'll give you an idea of the length. So plenty of space and 2 people could have a nap if they needed. We've got a ledge on either side with downlights. We've got some natural light coming in through the fixed skylight just here, a mirror, and then we've got operation for the engine controls if you needed to do a manual override, and a spot for a picnic basket just here. But, you know, just going back to my original feelings for this boat, they're not trying to tick every box. They're trying to do a couple of things exceptionally well. And so a simple, elegant, nice interior like this, I can see some good finishing up on the roof as well, and some strip lights down the side. It's all you need. It really is all you need. So anyway, let's see if we can make our way up on the bow and show you what's going on up there. So best way forward is probably port side would make the most sense because you've got the lounge on starboard, although you could get up there if you wished. Now, as you do, there's actually a drain set into the T-top roof, which also functions as a handhold. So that drain, I noticed, because it's been raining today, sends the water outside of the glass, not inside. So when you're driving, the boat's a dry boat. The spray it makes doesn't actually affect the guests on the back, and the rain goes outside the glass. So if it is bad weather, at least those 2 people can be completely protected, and on a normal day, they're not going to get any boat wash. But to go forward, you'd probably put a hand up on the handhold and you'd walk like so. And then you've got this area up here, which could be a lounging spot. You know, with the angle of the windscreen and a couple of cushions and beach towels, you might enjoy hanging out here from time to time, I should say. But when you will use it is when you need to park the boat. So you got your drop down cleats just here. And one of the most functional things, not that many of you are going to use this, but I want you to see this anyway, because see that? Carbon fibre. So the whole boat's carbon, but it's not obvious when you're looking on the outside. This is the anchor deployment system. So this electrically comes out like so, locks into the locking pin just up here. So you can anchor the boat if you're that way inclined. But remember, it's an amphibious boat, so you're probably not going to do much anchoring. You know, we've got a big drum windlass down there with chain and rope. We've got the deployment system, so you could anchor it in deep water if you needed to. But I imagine most people who use this boat are going to be doing it for its primary intended purpose, which is pulling up on beautiful beaches and locations like this. So yeah, I think we'll probably finish the video right there, I reckon. It's so this is not a boat for everyone because it's not trying to be. This is a boat that solves specific problems for people who know what they want out of life. For people who are conscious of the impact they have on the environment in front of their house. For people who want to design an amazing Sunday morning. For people who are conscious of their things and how beautiful they are. You know, if you're one of those people, if that's important to you, you need to look at the Iguana Commuter. My name's Dan Jones. This has been Dan's Boat Life. See you on the next one.